Welcome back to my little channel. Today is a little bit of a rant, and I will show pictures of articles that I will put in here. I will have links downstairs as well as image fillers. I'm not really going to give you the time to read them in my normal video, so if you want to read them, pause and feel free to read them. The article that set me off isn't among them, unfortunately. In the Netherlands, I read an article that our Minister of Education basically felt that it was time to look at our schooling system because it needs an overhaul. Because we have too many kids basically falling between the cracks. Now, these kids could be children of ethnic minorities, or with learning disabilities, or boys. Let that sink in. Because no matter what you think, especially during the age when they are obligated to go to school, boys are roughly 50% of all the kids. Now, I won't say that all the kids with learning disabilities are boys. So there will be some girls with learning disabilities. Okay, fair enough. Let's assume that both boys and girls have roughly the same amount of learning disabilities amongst them. Let's say it's 25%. That would mean that 50% of all the students have learning disabilities. That's obviously crap. It's going to be a far lower number. But to say that 50% of all students are boys, well, you wouldn't be far off now, would you? Why is boys the third category? Anyway, that's just what set me off. So I started looking into this. And what we see in the last, let's say, since the 1980s, so 30 to 40 years, boys are basically dropping out. Higher education is going to more and more women and less boys. Universities are having more and more women and less boys. Now, there are a few exceptions, usually in STEM, but on average, men are not going to universities, where women are. This is a scary prognosis, because I do believe in equality. Men and women both have a place in our educational system and in our society. But if half of them opt to no longer participate in our education system, for whatever reason, then we have a problem. And even in the 70s and 80s, people were already talking how our schooling system is more and more turning gynocentric. We see less and less male teachers in the classrooms and more female teachers. Is this a problem? Well, yes. I'm not saying these female teachers can't do their job right. But boys and girls both need women and men in their life. Why is this any different for their educational system? And we are seeing the results of that, because we are seeing that boys are opting out. Where once it was an achievement to say, okay, I want to go to university and I'm going to make it work, most boys now don't care about university. Are you going to university? Meh. What's the value? Why would I bother? I mean, I need to get a job anyway to pay for my life. May as well get whatever I want because it doesn't really matter. Well, it's got to be something I like doing, or something that pays the bills. This problem is more among the men than among the women. Women are more likely to get a job because they like to do the job. Men more likely get a job because they need to pay the bills. Is this a reason why they stop going to school? To stop early to go and work? Well, I don't know. There's no research saying that this is the case. The only thing we do know is that men opt out when it comes to higher education. And that, my friends, is a problem. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we should have less women in higher education. I think we should have roughly equal amounts of people in higher education. Now, that there are less women in STEM field because women don't choose to go to STEM, fair enough. That's not a problem. I mean, you're still allowed to do what you please. I don't care if you want to go to gender studies. Starbucks is still hiring, so go ahead. The problem isn't that you are taking the wrong courses or the wrong education to learn. The problem is that men, on average, feel there is no use in going into higher education. Where have we lost these men? That's the primary goal. That's what we need to address. Well, I'm addressing it now. What we need are answers, and I can't give an answer, unfortunately. So, just, let it sink in. Kids with learning disabilities, kids with ethnic minority parents, and boys have a problem in our current schooling system. Maybe we need to look at this. Anyway, this is my rant. Like, share, subscribe if you feel inclined. Let me know what you think down below. I always read the comments and I am curious to what you all have to say. Sorry it's not more entertaining today. Maybe next time. Bye bye.